Well, Matt Rhule came out today and he said there's no chance of him firing Marcus Satterfield, our beloved offensive coordinator. And I know that probably makes many of you angry. But he also followed it up with, how has firing people around here gone for you? And then he said, it's ridiculous. Quite frankly, I agree with him. I mean, firing Satterfield, said this before, would result in Nebraska's fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years. And that's not how you build continuity. It's not how you build championship teams. And quite frankly, it's not how you build success. And I know there's a lot of you that are just going to hate the guy. He made some wrong decisions. He's never going to be any good. Okay. You hate your offensive coordinator. Congratulations. So does everyone else. At least everyone else who has a team that's not full of 4 and 5-star recruits. That's pretty much the case. If you look all over the nation, that's how it goes with people. And the reason why I'm not even going to do this thing where I say, wait till the end of the video, it's because we already know the outcome. In the Maryland game is a good example of this. The pass play that was intercepted that could have resulted in a field goal or maybe a touchdown, but it was intercepted. Nebraska gets no points. Maryland goes down the field and scores a field goal, wins the game. Nebraska loses another one-score game in the fourth quarter late. And it's frustrating, and I get it. And quite frankly, I would have preferred that we ran the ball there, but we didn't. But we know the outcome of what the plays are after the fact. When a guy goes on 4th and 2 and you go, well, they should have kicked the field goal. Well, we know that because it's already happened. And, hindsight is 2020. That's the phrase. So let's go look at all the complaints around the play that resulted in the turnover. Nebraska should have run the ball. Like I said, I don't disagree, but I'm going to propose something to you. If Nebraska would have run the ball, and there's a good chance we wouldn't have made it into the end zone because we weren't doing that well in red zone running, although the 2-yard touchdown that was scored before by Janaram Bonner, it was like a fullback end around kind of thing, and that was a pretty cool play design, and Janaram Bonner made an excellent play. Otherwise, we'd all be complaining about that one. Bonner ran through a tackle, and he scored, and it was excellent. Because he made the play. But let's go back and look at the play, the series that ended with the interception. The problem I have with that is this. If we kick the field goal there, Maryland still has it. There's a lot of people that said, well, they could have ran the ball more and taken time off the clock and they probably would have won the game. And the key there is probably. That interception happened with 3:37. So we had thrown one incompletion before that. Let's say we ran both times and we took a minute off the clock. That's 2:37. And we score a field goal there to make it 13-10 in our favor. And then Maryland goes down the field and scores a touchdown. Will we all be bitching about them not trying for a touchdown? I'm guessing yes, we would, if we're honest with ourselves. Come on. Because that's what we do as fans. We bitch and moan and complain about things. We find anything. It happens more in losses, but it still happens in wins. You can tell that from the responses we've had to the ugly wins we had earlier in the season. Then there's a lot of people, that say, well, the defense would have held. Well, the series before that, Maryland kind of marched down the field running the ball successfully. 6 plays in 2 minutes and 43 seconds before we did it. The defense, I think it was Javin, right? Had a good play where he picked up a fumble and we ended their drive. But they were moving the ball before that. So it wasn't the case of, our defense got disheartened because we had another turnover. No, Maryland was starting to figure things out, and they did a good job. They have players, and they made plays. There you go. There are a lot of people that just say we should just run the ball all the time since we have we keep throwing interceptions and turning the ball over. Well, I pointed this out before. We don't have the line for that. This isn't the 90s. This isn't the 80s. The rules have changed a lot like that since then. There's no cut blocking. A lot of things you can't do. And we do not just have the offensive line. Unless your strategy is just run the ball, run the ball, because you know the other team's just going to stack the line. Run the ball for 2 yards, run the ball 2 yards, run the ball for 2 yards, punt. That's the good way to wear your offense out or your defense out by the third quarter and then get smoked up in the fourth again. So those sound neat, they're not going to work. If I said this, we want to get to a bowl game, a lot of people would say, yes, our team definitely needs those extra 15 practices or whatever it is for the bowl game. If we get to a bowl game, you got to practice more. And my point back to you, the counterpoint is for people who just think we should run the ball all the time. If we're not going to practice at least some of the plays that we're going to run all the time in the offense when we have a quarterback or when we have a full team, then what's the point of having the extra practices? I see a lot of comments from people about maybe we should just run the single wing the rest of the season. Okay, so we're going to learn a new offense in like a week with 2 games left. That's neat. We shouldn't be running those plays anyway. Okay, so Malachi Coleman is not ever going to get any more experience because we're just not going to run any plays that he has to actually go out and do routes and block on routes and things like that. You're not going to give the guys that need the experience for us later. They're never going to get that experience. That's the problem with this, is closing down the offense and doing that stuff. Is you want to go from here to there. It's way up there. It means championships and stuff. You want to go from here to championships. And there's a process to that. And I know it's frustrating and it sucks. And I wish we were in a bowl game too. I wish we wouldn't have lost the last 2 games. The teams I feel like we should have beat. But we didn't. And we can I have never understood where we've gotten to this point of fire everyone. Let's fire this guy. That guy made a mistake. Let's fire him. He didn't line up behind center and 4th and 2. He should be fired. Where the hell did all that come? Do you people get fired this easily in your jobs? Okay, anyway. I want to point out the most positive thing I can think of. Because there is a lot of positive. We're going in the right direction. And that is this. After this Maryland loss, we're literally not talking about anything else except that interception play. We're talking about our injured quarterbacks and turnovers, and those are certainly a problem. But I'll point this out. Nebraska is one decent quarterback away from being a pretty decent team. Not an exceptional team, not a team that's going to beat Michigan or Ohio State all the time, but they're getting there. Our problem is our quarterback play. Even with a beat-up offensive line and lack of receivers, it looks like we could win a lot of games if we just had a serviceable quarterback. We're not talking about other things. We're not complaining about false starts all the time, because they kind of disappeared. We're not talking about stupid penalties on the field that extend drives for other teams, because they haven't happened lately. We returned punt. We didn't get a lot of chances to return punts in the last game, but we did. I think we returned 1 or 2 of them. If you can't see that that's positive, and we're moving in a positive direction, and yes, it's frustrating with the losses, but these are all positive things. It's just, the wins are tough right now for a team that turns the ball over 5 times. These are my points on the subject. I'd love to hear yours. I thank you for the support of the channel. Thank you for supporting me. Please subscribe. Consider going to Hobby Corn and picking up a shirt. We're going to be doing 20% off for November. Thank you again, and go Big Red.